I want to thank everyone for joining us for another episode of Noble Thoughts. This episode, we're talking about life and how it can be more than a struggle at times. With us, we have our guest, Danielle Hinkle. Thank you so
Hey,
much for joining us.
hey, man. Hey, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you. Thank you for opening up with us and sharing your story. Can you tell me how long you've been here in Indianapolis? Is this where you were born?
This is my home place. I was born and raised here. Yeah, 56 years.
And tell me what it was like growing up.
Growing up was really good. I had both my parents at home. I had a really good, decent, middle class home life. Didn't want for anything. Not to say, parents arguing and stuff like that, but for the most part, my family was good.
Can you tell me what life has been like before you were homeless?
Before I was homeless, it was I had ups and downs. No more than what anybody else is going through. Went to high school, finished high school. Um, Life was okay. I graduated from high school. It was okay, but I had some childhood challenges um, that nobody knew about, so I just kept moving.
Hmm. Do you have friends or family that you still stay in touch with here?
Oh yeah, I was on the call with some friends this morning. Um, she moved from here and went to Florida, but she's been here for a little bit. So yes, I have family and friends that I talk to. My oldest sister's birthday was today. I sent her a message. So yeah, I got family.
Well, happy birthday to her.
Yes.
Tell us about church. You've been a faithful member to different churches here in the Circle City. Tell us what your experience was like.
I have to say when I became homeless, um, that's when I really found out who was for me. Many of the church people, in particular where I was going, they stopped talking to me, and they didn't have anything to do with me. But there was this one ministry I went to. Uh, when I told them that I was homeless at the time, I had kids that I went to high school with, so many of them embraced me and blessed me and were kind to me. But for the most part, a lot of church people weren't once they found out you're homeless.
Are you able to connect with any resources here in the Circle City? What's it like to try to be a part of some of these programs?
Well, I went through, they sent me to different organizations, but when I went, they told me they didn't have any funds. And the lady said, I don't even know why she sent you to us because we don't have any money. She said, they know we don't have any money. So I just stopped going. I just stopped going. I know they have programs, but I just went on and began to do things for myself.
I see you're making a way out of no way. You're in a
Hmm.
car, you have your phone. Tell me what life is like being homeless.
Being homeless, uh, it's not like having your own roof on your head. When you have your own roof over your head, you have freedom. And so I like to cook dinners and have family around. And so you can't do that in somebody else's place. And there's, rules, of course, but there's not a lot of freedom. You're limited to what you can do. Because, like, I like to do art and sewing and cooking and stuff like that. So I can't really do that in someone's home.
Could you tell us how long you've been facing housing instability?
Um, well, I'm gonna say in the past 3 years, um, it's been since 2020. It's been longer than that. 2017. It's been longer than that. So in and out of a relationship with a husband, divorce, and all that. So that's what's put me on somewhat of a down spiral. I've been trying to get a place. And so it's been since 2017 for the most part.
What do you wish people knew about what it's like to be homeless, especially for women?
For uh it's not easy. You have to have a strong mindset to keep going. Um, at one time in the beginning when I was homeless many years ago, and it was for 2 years. The homelessness almost got a grip of me. So you begin to think that nothing is going to open for you. And so I had to begin to tell myself that this is temporary, and I'm going to get out of this, which I did. So I want people to understand that not everybody that's homeless is on drugs. You don't have to be afraid of homeless people. We're human beings, just like your cousin, your auntie, your mother, humans. But what happens is people, they put a value on you, on an individual, when they have things, when they have a roof over their head. Um, there's a value. When you don't have those, many people don't want to talk to you or deal with you. You know, I've had people tell me, even relatives, last year I couldn't come to their house because I didn't have a job. I said, okay, no problem. But I just want people to know it can happen to you, so don't judge.
Right.
Don't judge. Okay, that's it on that.
It's okay. We're here to hear your noble thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm wondering what the hardest part of this has been for you. Is it not having the family support or concerns for safety? What is it? What's the hardest part of your situation?
Well, I would have to say my support system, my mother was my support system. And so my mother's gone. She was my support.
Yes,
And she's been gone for 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So she was my support to help me, because I was having to take care of her too, because she was sick. But when you don't have the support of your mother, but I have Jesus, so there's my support. I have the Lord, and even though my mother's gone, but I have the Lord, and I have a little bit of support. My ex-husband helps me too. He helps me. He does what he can for me.
Would you welcome the opportunity if stable housing came along or if a new job opportunity came along?
Of course, I've been applying. I have a master's degree in business, an MBA in business. And so it's really difficult. I applied at one school, I applied at Butler to be their entrepreneur, a business instructor. I haven't heard anything yet. So I got sort of burned out with these jobs that don't pay a lot. And so when you don't have income after so long, a certain amount of time, it's hard because they want you to have at least 2 years or a year of income, stable, steady income. Then they want you to have 3 times the rent money to get something good. So
to get
Of
on.
course,
It's
the door opens for me. I'm gonna take it.
yes, ma'am. If you could say anything to the people who are listening right now that have your attention, love you and care about you, and who may even be going through the same thing as Danielle, do you have anything to say to them?
What I have to say is this too shall pass. Sometimes it's life's way of teaching you lessons. And I think about maybe I missed something along the line that I didn't hear that I wasn't supposed to do, a road I took that I wasn't supposed to take. And so I have to say, because I love Jesus, um, I can't speak for anybody else, but I do know with him, this would have been a lot worse, you know. And I say stay encouraged. And if you don't know Jesus, I would suggest you get to know him because um, he'll make things easy for you. Even going through what I'm going through, he makes it easy, you know. And it's all about the mindset. If I stayed and continued about my situation in a negative view, then I wouldn't be up today talking to you on the phone.
You're right.
So yeah,
You
this too shall
answered
pass.
you answered my call bright and early this morning, and you were
Yeah,
willing to speak out and be vulnerable with us and share your noble thoughts. And
yeah.
Miss Danielle, I pray that somebody listens to this podcast and help comes your way, okay?
I appreciate it.
We love
I
you,
appreciate it. Love you too, dear. Thank you.
and thank you for sharing your noble thoughts.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Today on our show, we have LaVon Dunnigan Bradley. She is the arch manager for Outreach Incorporated here in Indianapolis. They provide wraparound services for teens that are experiencing homelessness here in our area. And LaVon, we want to thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your noble thoughts.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about Outreach and what inspired the program?
So my understanding, I've been there almost 4 years. And so it began with a young man that used to go in Broad Ripple, and he's seeing youth under the bridge, homeless. And he used to provide peanut butter jelly sandwich and water. That's it built from that, it birthed from that. Next thing you know, they were inside of a church. So, church will allow them space. Again, targeting the youth that were just out there, had no one. Some of them have been put out, some through the foster care system. And then from there, they was able to get a house that was over there on New York Street. And they provided, the wraparound service, nothing for them to stay, but could come and get basic needs met. And then they were blessed to get into the building that we're located at right now, and to continue on with even more services. So the wraparound has just become on a more tremendous level than even where it started from.
And I believe I've done reports in downtown Indianapolis at some of the locations there. Can you talk about how much the program has grown since then?
Oh my God, amazing! Because we have four satellite locations. We're on the Old South Side. We are on the Northeast Side, which is at Lawrence United Lutheran, I believe it's Lawrence United Church. We are on the West Side, and that's our newest location that we're getting started up because we're trying to really put ourselves in the environments where our youth and young adults are having the hardest times. So we're really trying to move in those spaces, just giving them access. For a long time, they didn't even know that, outreach exists. Word of mouth, word of mouth travels very far, especially with young people. And I'm so excited about that because it's letting them know there's help for them to come in and get the services, and they don't have to try to do this thing called life by themselves.
No. What does it mean to empower homeless youth? And scoot back a little bit from the microphone.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. To empower the youth and young adults, there are so many facets with that. One, to see them. It's unbelievable how the youth exists and they believe that's all they do is just exist. No one see them, no one hear them, and definitely no one there to love on them. So empowering them, just even from the start, it's just seeing them, hearing them, and loving on them. It start bringing that trust that they have lost along the way to build those relationships so that they know someone really does care.
Are there some common misconceptions that people have about maybe the youth that you serve there?
Absolutely. You know, the stigma for homelessness in general is drugs, alcohol, all these things there. These are not always the factors here. Some of it is mental health. So we have our in-house social work now, but we have partnered with many organizations that will come in providing some of those mental health. Some of those are just the challenges of life. You have young people that are thrown into this big world with no guidance, no help, and expect them to show up and perform like anyone else that have had a quote unquote regular life. It's not going to happen.
How do you help the teens build trust with you? How do you keep them in your places of care?
Yes. So, you know, one of the things we do, like I said before, seeing them, hearing them, and loving on them, it begins to build trust with them. They have had people in their life that have violated and broken that trust. So for us to be able to come in to do that, it's just sometimes just letting them tell us their story, the trauma that they have, non-judging. We have any and everyone that come through our door, no one's judged. They feel that love that we have. We're faith-based, but we're not faith-forced. So they can come in there and get love. If they want to be connected, they can. And if they don't, we still love on them all the same.
Talk about some of the services that you provide them.
Wow. So some of the services, you know, apart from the basic needs, we have several partners that come in and help us out, like the Damien Center, IYG, you know, so we have Fountain Square that come in that helps us with our therapy. We, like I said, we have in-house therapy now as well. So we've been blessed to even grow into that in this matter of time that I've been there. But then we have some of the services that come in and they donate. Our volunteers are so amazing. They bring in some of them who are affiliated with other organizations. They will connect their organizations to come in, to even cook for them on our days that we're open. They will provide some of the meals for them, second helpings, tremendously a blessing because they provide our lunch for us and our breakfast a lot of the times. So just having all these organizations believe in what we're doing, it is amazing.
Let's talk a little bit more about the services you provide in detail. So if a young Hoosier comes to your doors when you're open, you're providing a place for them to wash their clothes, you're providing them a meal, there's clothes available. What else is available to them?
So, wow. And I'm so glad you asked that question because it does go beyond just the basic needs. That's why I said we do more than just see them. We hear what they're needing. They come in, they don't have their IDs. We take them to the BMV. We provide whatever documentation that we can help them get to get their IDs. We'll take them to the Marion County Health Department to help them get their birth certificate. Social Security cards, we'll complete those applications for them. They have job interviews, we'll take them to those job interviews. And if we can't take them, we provide bus passes because Indigo blesses us with bus passes. So we are able to help them with those as well. So whatever those services are that they're needing, we're there to help them with those hard things there that they really don't even know. And we have those discussions to help them get there.
And Lavon, you go a step further. You're involved in the schools as well?
Yes. So in the schools, which is a tremendous piece that part of the services, we're walking along with these students in the schools. Some of them are already seniors, but they have barriers, meaning they've already been told when you graduate, you got to get out. I had a young lady and several, but one in particular, this is exactly what she was told. So trying to celebrate this milestone of graduation, like all the other students, we find them hard to do that because unfortunately we're spending time, instead of setting up open house, we're trying to find them a place to live. If they're not going off to college, and sometimes if there are, they still have a few months in between that time to leave. So we're still having to find them a place to stay just in the transition of them going off to college. So it is a lot, and being able to walk alongside with them to make sure that they get to that stage because they've earned that. And we want to make sure that they know they've earned that. And then we celebrate with them as well with a graduation celebration.
Well, that is kind of you. That sounds a lot like a lot of fun. I want you to tell
Yes.
us how people can get involved. I mean, how can we volunteer? We want to have fun too.
Absolutely. And it is fun in there. They look at the word homeless. There's nothing glamorous about it. And it's totally understood. But I promise you, when you connect with these youth and young adults, you don't see homelessness. You see young people, you see real people with real issues, but you also see young people that is begging for someone just to love on them and help them. They're not all coming in there just saying, give me, give me, give me. They want the help to succeed, but no one's been there to help guide them. So volunteers, like I said, we have some amazing volunteers that come in. There was a situation, a young lady came in. She was, because our age group is 14 to 24. They age out at 25. And this young lady came in very timid, very afraid, but she knew she needed to come in to get help. And one of the volunteers, I was busy, all the coaches were busy. And I just asked the volunteer, can you just go and just sit with this young lady? The volunteer went, sat with this young lady, began to talk with her, got her to feel at ease, and then did a warm handoff when she was ready to hand her off to a coach for the assistance. The young lady was able to tell her, what was going on in her life. So the volunteer knew what to even help her translate once she got to the coach. So getting on board with them, and we even hear the volunteers tell us how it makes a difference in their life. This is not just charity, because some look at it like, oh, this is a form of charity. It's not, because these are real lives being impacted by real lives.
Where do you see the organization in 5 to 10 years?
I hope that because we're trying to move in that area now, providing more housing, especially for our minors, because in the last year or so, we've had more minors come to us, which makes it very difficult because, there's a big segment that comes along with that when you're trying to house minors. The guardians, a lot of them don't have that. So we're trying to track down who's guardian to give us permission to work with them so that we don't have to involve DCS, who's already overloaded. And some of them is coming from DCS that they make their way to us. So housing for them, because right now our transitional housing for our minors is very limited. So hopefully we're able to get into that demographic to where we can provide housing, and then affordable housing, because that's the other issue there. They can't afford the places that they're trying to even live in. And that's a hard stigma as well, because people think they just don't want to pay rent. No, if they're barely working a job to make money and the rent is outrageous for even people that work a good job, we can't expect them to do that. And then just helping them to learn sustainability, because, we see that as well. Sometimes they get in and they never had this before. They've been on the street. So just providing the education of teaching them how to sustain when they get an apartment or a place to stay.
How can we support you, Lavon? How can we support the kids? Outreach Incorporated.
So again, volunteering, donations, because it takes funds to do this all the time. Of course it does. So just even the resources that are there that is willing to come on board and help us, we need it. We literally need any resource that we can get to just help us help a young person out just a little bit more, because a lot of times we're spinning our wheels trying to find those resources. So if there's organizations out there that can help us with housing or help us with basic needs, help us with employment, help us with education, any of those services there, we welcome all of them.
Well, we will definitely get the information to Outreach Incorporated in the show notes. Lavon Dunnigan Bradley, I want to thank you so much for sharing your noble thoughts with us. And we appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you for taking this time to just get this story out so that they know the need is there. And, there's a scripture that come to mind, and it said, the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. And we're one of the laborers. We're looking for more laborers because they're out there and they're right for us to help. We just need people to help us.
hopefully that help is on the way. Yvonne, thank you for sharing your noble thought.